Hello VC, what's going on? It's me, Will, and I'm back with a new video. And this one's gonna be a little bit of a different one. I'm gonna be just talking about three random topics, or I guess some topics that I've been thinking about in the last few weeks. All of them music related, of course. Then I'll give you a quick book recommendation, and then at the end of the video I'm gonna be doing just a quick vinyl update of a couple of records that I've been picking up in the last few weeks. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the random topics. The first random topic is Funko Pops. I'm not a big Funko Pop collector, but I do have a few of them here in my music room, especially some that are music related, of course. And I got three of them for Christmas and the last Christmas. And I got the three Green Day Funko Pops. So there's Billy, Trey, and Mike. And I haven't opened them yet. I was waiting to make this video to actually show you how they look like in the box. And then this one just came out, I think, last year. And I think you might still be able to pick them up online. They're not really one of the rare ones. They're one of the Funko Pop Rocks series. And it's funny because they have the Dookie artwork here in the background, but the three characters are dressed up as the American Idiot era of Green Day. Here's Billy Joe with the scruffy hair, of course, and the guy liner. Then let's take a look at Trey. There's Trey Cool. It has the same design in the background, in the back of the box. This one is Funko Pop number 236. Billy Joe is 234, and Mike is 235, of course. And there he is, his drumsticks. And let's take a look at Mike. Really cool. The three of them will be joining the one and only Joey Ramone that I also have in Funko Pop over there in the background in my video. And I don't know if I should be keeping the boxes on this ones. If anybody out there is a big Funko Pop collector, let me know, because I usually just throw them away, but I don't know if they're gonna be rare at some point, and especially if you have them in the box. But for now, I think I'm going to be keeping the boxes in storage. All right, topic number 2, and this one is vinyl related. In one of my last videos of last year, I showed you this record. This is the Joy Formidable with Into the Blue. And it's a great record, by the way. It made it to my top 10 albums of 2021. But when I showed you this record in that video, I mentioned that the record came in with an extra 7-inch single. And first I just thought that the 7-inch just had a couple of extra songs, maybe one of the singles from the album, and in a B-side, just something extra for collectors to have. But then I actually listened to the full album, the 12-inch LP, front and back, and I remember thinking, hey, there were a couple of tracks that I remember listening to in the Spotify version of the album that I did not remember hearing when I played the vinyl version of the record. And it got me thinking. It was like, are there a couple of tracks that they did not include in the vinyl version? And I looked at the track list, and in fact there were a couple of songs that were not in the 12-inch LP. And then I realized that those two songs were included in the 7-inch record, in side A and in side B. And then I realized, oh, okay, maybe they ran out of space in the 12-inch record, and they had to include those two tracks as in the 7-inch single. So that made sense. But then I realized that those two tracks in the 7-inch were actually the two songs in the middle of the track list. So for you, in order to listen to the full record, the way or the order that it was intended to be listened to, you would have to first grab your 12-inch record, play side A, take your record out, play side A and side B of your 7-inch single, then take your 7-inch single out and play side B of your 12-inch record. Interesting setup. I've never seen that in an album before. It may be more common than I think it is, but as far as records in my collection, I've never seen one, or I don't have any others like that, with a combination of a 12-inch record and a 7-inch single. The only one that I have that is kind of similar in the configuration of that is this one. It's the Star Wars soundtrack. And if you own this one, you know what I'm talking about. The actual, this one came in on a double LP, two 12-inch records. And let's see, this one is side 3. Let me show you the first disc. So the first disc has side 1 in one side and side 4 in the other side. And of course, obviously the other LP has side 2 and side 3 of the double disc. So again, for you to listen to this record the way that it was intended, you have to play first disc 1, then switch it to disc 2, play it completely, and then go back to disc 1 and play the second side, or the side 4, I guess. Apparently this one was made for a specific kind of record player that was automated to be able to play records in that kind of setup. So that's why they decided to do that in the Star Wars record. But for this one, I guess they just simply ran out of space in the 12-inch vinyl. Interesting setup. I just thought it was something that I would talk about it in a video. Have you seen something like that before with a combination of a 12-inch and either a 10-inch or a 7-inch? Let me know in the comments. All right, the third random topic is something that is, I guess, kind of relevant according to the news nowadays. But I wanted to talk about songs or albums that are not in streaming services, such as Spotify or Apple Music or any of those kind of services. And what got me thinking about that topic was I went to Half Price Books a few weeks ago. Actually, it was a few months ago during the Christmas season. And I saw this box set by the Smashing Pumpkins. And this one's called The Aeroplane Flies High. And this one came out in originally 1996 on Virgin Records. Really cool box set. Kind of like they made it look like an old 45 box. And this one has all the 5 CD singles from the Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness record. And this one was used, apparently was owned by somebody called Lisa Marie, as you can see there in the sticker in the back. But apparently she kept a really good care, or she took really good care of this box set because all the CDs play perfectly. And the only thing that was missing in this one was the actual booklet, which I hope to find sometime in the future. Although they sold a ton of these box sets back in the 90s, I missed out on it when it came out, but it completely sold out. So it's kind of hard to find now. And when I saw it at Half Price Books for $40, it was actually a really good deal. Because you can pay a lot more for one of these, for one of the original ones on eBay. So a really cool find. And I did listen to this box set. Like I said, it has all these singles from their biggest record, Melancholy. But it also includes some extra B-sides and bonus tracks and cover songs, a ton of songs in this box set. And I went into Spotify to see if I could find some of those versions of the B-sides and the cover songs, and they are not on Spotify. And I thought that was kind of interesting, and then I went back and there was another Smashing Pumpkins record that is not in Spotify. There are actually quite a few of them that are not in Spotify, and this one is one of them too. And I also found this one at Half Price Books. This is Zeitgeist. And this one came out in 2007 on Martha's Music. I got this one on CD. But again, another record from the Smashing Pumpkins that is not on streaming services. So the only way for you to listen to those songs is in physical format. And I'm not sure if this one ever came out on vinyl, but I only have it on CD. I just thought it was interesting that there were a lot of albums and songs that you cannot listen to in the streaming services, especially with nowadays with some artists pulling out their material from Spotify because of political reasons, or just that they don't like that kind of service. So I think that's a plus for physical record or physical media collectors. It's either with movies or with music. You can listen to all the songs that you want to anytime you want if you own a physical copy of the record. And I think that's a great thing about collecting music in either on vinyl or in CD. It's something that you will not be able to replicate on streaming services. All right, now just a quick book recommendation. I just finished reading this one. This one is the latest book from Dan Ozzi, and this one's called Sellout. The major label feeding frenzy that swept punk, emo, and hardcore from 1994 to 2007. And this one came out in last year in 2021 on Day Street Books, in case you want to pick this one up. Really cool book. Dan Ozzi, you may know him because he also co-wrote the Laura Jane Grace biography that came out a few years ago. And in this one, his newest book, he talks about the stories of bands that moved from the punk scene into major labels. And he talks about the process of recording the very first album on a major label, which, as you may know, is a big no-no from people in the punk scene to move into a major label. It's kind of like breaking the rules of the scene. And it talks about the stories of this 10 bands that moved into major labels. And you can pause the video there in case you want to read through all the bands. But some of the highlights are Green Day with Dookie, Joe Breaker with Dear You, Blink-182 with Dude Ranch, and the Distillers with Coral Fang, among others. Now I gotta say, someone like me is exactly in the right demographic that they were aiming for in this book. Because someone like me that grew up in the 90s and started listening to music seriously in the mid to late 90s all the way to the early 2000s, I was familiar with almost all of the bands that were referenced in this book. Not only with the bands in the list, but also all the other bands that they mentioned throughout the book. And I was going through the list actually, and I realized that I've seen all of these bands in the list except with one live, which is at the Drive-In. I don't think I've ever saw at the Drive-In live, but I've seen all of the other bands live at least once. So as you can tell, I was very familiar with all those bands, but either way, even if you're not familiar with those bands, I think you will enjoy the stories from all those bands on how they went to record that very first record on a major label, and how it worked really well commercially with some bands like Green Day and Blink-182, and it didn't work so well with other bands like Jawbreaker or the Distillers. So a really interesting book, fun stories, easy to read, very well written. Highly recommend that you check out this one, Sellout by Dan Ozzi. All right, and lastly, I wanted to do just a quick vinyl update. I haven't picked up that many records lately, just a couple of them that I have to show you for this video. This is one of them, is the Replacements with Songs for Slim. And this is an EP that came out in 2013 on New West Records. And I've been in a big Replacements kick lately, and I saw this one at the record store, and I saw that it has never been repressed, and I don't know if it will ever be repressed in the future, so I didn't want to miss out on it. Of course, I bought it, and again, it's a 5-song EP. It was released as a benefit for Slim Dunlap that was recovering from a stroke, and it has 2 songs that were written by Slim Dunlap and 3 cover songs. And the record itself, or actually this one came in with a inner sleeve with some artwork, really creepy artwork from Chris Mars, the original drummer for the Replacements, in the credits. And the record came in on kind of like a see-through or translucent red vinyl. Cool EP to have. Do not expect kind of like a classic replacement sound on this one. They definitely didn't mail it in on the recording of this one. It's still a cool recording, cool to have, but I wouldn't call it kind of like a classic replacements release. But anyway, really cool to have it and to add it to my growing replacements collection. And lastly, this is Green Day with International Super Hits. And this one came out in 2002 on Reprise Records. The reason why I bought this one is because I do not own it on vinyl, and it was on a really good sale at the record store. They had like a clearance sale a few weeks ago, and I just bought it for a really good price. And I just needed it for my Green Day collection to have it on vinyl. This is their first greatest hits compilation that came out again in 2001. So it was before American Idiot. So it doesn't include any of the songs from albums from American Idiot up till now. And it also doesn't include any of the songs from their first two records, which were released in a different label and Lookout Records. So they didn't own the rights, or Reprise Records didn't own the rights for those the songs from those first two albums. But they did have the songs all the way from Dookie to Warning. Really cool compilation. I don't know if you can see the track list, but it's a really cool list of songs. It has the major hits from Green Day from that era, like Welcome to Paradise, Basket Case, Minority, Good Riddance, Hitching a Ride. And also, one of the reasons why I wanted to buy this one is because since Green Day already has a new greatest hits compilation that came out a few years ago that is called God's Favorite Band, I don't know if Reprise is going to keep pressing new versions of this record or new presses of this one, at least on vinyl. It would make sense that they would just use the new one in the future. So I didn't want to miss out on owning this one on vinyl, especially if they're not going to repress it. But still really cool to add it to my collection. And I still have this one in the shrink wrap because if I wanted to listen to this one, I would just listen to the one that I have on CD. But that's it for now, VC. I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for listening to me through my 3 random topics and that book recommendation and the vinyl update video. Hopefully I'll be back with a new video soon. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.